The 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss, struck him out. The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Phixated Podcast. I am your host, Mike Azzy, and I'm joined by a guy who I'm going to miss immensely next week as he travels on vacation. Regzy Boo, I'm gonna miss you, man.
I'm gonna miss you too.
Tell the people like what's going on. You're going on a trip.
We're going to the Bahamas. We're going to the Atlantis Resort.
All right, man.
Getting the boys on all the slides and lazy rivers and swimming with the dolphins and all that good stuff.
Sounds like a blast.
Yeah.
Now, is that I truly don't know. Is that like an all-inclusive type of
I think you
resort?
can make it that.
Mhm.
We usually, Ange and I, like when we do our trips, we like to do all inclusives, just like you guys. Just because it's so much easier to just get there and be done with it and not worry about it.
Yeah.
My parents are coming with us and paying for a fair amount of the trip, so they wanted to take the boys to this resort, for a while.
Mm-hmm.
They don't do all inclusive that much, so we looked into like a meal plan or something like that.
Nice.
But at the end of the day, it's like I think it was like a wash, or what we think, but we're just we're just paying for it.
All that vacations are meant to make memories, hang out, bond with the ones that you love. So at the end of the day, that's what matters. That's cool that you're going with your parents and that they get to enjoy like those memories and stuff. That's awesome.
And my brother's coming. Both were supposed to be, but the youngest is starting the police academy next week.
Nice.
So
okay, that's a new journey.
Yep, that's his next step.
All right.
So unfortunately, he finally got his start date, and it's the week that we're gonna be there. So my one brother will be there with us. Yep,
That's cool.
And the parents, and
Awesome,
looking forward
man.
to drinking a lot of pina coladas.
Listen, I love watching them make the drinks at resorts. I try and order things that I wouldn't typically get so I can learn how to make them for when I get home.
Yeah, I try to not go beer when I'm at these places, even though that's almost what I generally drink. But I'm like, I don't need to drink, bohemian beer. I'd rather, get a pina colada or something with rum in it, and we'll just go crazy. We just look down the menu, maybe we do one of everything throughout the day. Who knows?
You get a little crazy.
That's right.
Get a little crazy. I like that. So like we've talked about with Regz not being here, I've got the potential of 2 shows next week. One to kind of last ditch preview or recap beginnings of the trade deadline and move into what's coming next. That'll be recorded on Sunday, out on Monday with friend of the show, Brian Doc Hamilton. And the focus more so in that is going to be when we talk about certain guys, what is the prospect that, would essentially go. Brian is a minor league expert when it comes to the Phillies. So he'll be able to, in a moment, tell you the prospect that would give you the value to get the guys that are becoming more realistic for the Phillies. Regz and I have a few names that we're going to talk about here tonight. The other one would be the reaction to the deadline, and that would be with Brother Joe. That
this is new. I'm just learning about this.
Yeah, he's been clamoring to come on, and I told him, with it not being my specific channel, I'm learning how to do the video and stuff like that tonight. So it's better to have one. But he's all excited. He's gonna, and I told him to call in it, to talk about someone that got him all fired up. So yeah, that's gonna be post deadline, just to
there you go.
Recap what happened. So probably on the first or whatever.
All right.
So yeah, two coming your way, and hopefully we hear from Regz. But one thing, Regz, that I wanted to talk about here, something I gotta do in the next week. Obviously, I gotta mow. The grass is.
I just did that today.
Well, it hasn't grown in what, it hasn't rained in 3 weeks.
Oh, so it's been raining a bit down here.
Yeah, well, it finally did here, but that's why I got to mow again.
Yeah.
But the one thing that I realized I had to do, I was walking out of the building where I did my training today in Delaware, and I looked at my car and I was like, this is gross. This car needs to be washed. So here's my question. Are you a wash your own car guy or a take it to the car wash guy?
I'm a let the rain wash my car guy. Which is terrible because it needs one desperately. And there's literally, like, I can see a car wash from my backyard.
That's hilarious.
Like, I can see one. It's that close. And I always look at it and they're like, there's like all these teenagers that are like wiping it down. I'm like, that would probably be really nice. We're like, we have weird things that we're cheap about. And like car wash is one of those things. Like, so if I had to, we'll just break out a bucket.
Yeah.
And we'll get it done. But every once in a while, I feel like it might be nice to pay like the $30
and just have it done.
To get it done nicely, and then just wait another 7 years to get it done again.
So they do have those like places now where you can actually get like you can pay like a monthly membership fee.
Oh yeah, they're popping up everywhere.
And I've said to Andrea, I'd rather just go down the street to the Rudders and pay like the $10 to just go through the.
Yeah. Well, there's like there's that
wash.
full service one. Then there's one down the road that is just like a bunch of pressure wash stations. So you essentially pay to just wash your own car.
Yeah.
But to use the pressure washer.
Yeah.
And then there's another like the car washes are all over the place. But
yeah.
Literally, if I open my office window, I could see it like right over there.
I'll have to check that out the next time we're doing something live.
Maybe we'll both run through. We'll film it and be like, "Here we go. This is it."
You never know. You never know. Also, who would have thought that this would have been a conversation on the Phixated Podcast? It's all I could think about on my way home is judging me for my dirty car on the highway. But that's. Research shows that no one actually cares what you look like or what people are more focused on themselves, which makes sense because that's
screw other people.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Well, and so I appreciate that. I'd love to know, what other people's thoughts are. I appreciate your thoughts. Maybe I just shouldn't care. Maybe I should just like not wash my car and let the rain do it for me.
I mean, look, it's not great. Like a bird shit on one of my headlights. I should probably like clean that up. But I'm just like, I don't know. I'm not that concerned.
I don't think that really impacts the headlight.
I'm not that concerned about it. I'm just not that concerned about it.
Yeah, so, I mean, that was sort of my my question. Are you a car wash guy or not? And now I know the answer. So
it's
I might be overreacting just a little.
Listen, it's it is what it is. I know some people who wash their car like every other week. They get a car wash. Just different strokes for different folks, as they say.
To each their own. And
that's right.
The Mets just won. So awesome. We're going to talk about them a little later. Stupid Braves can't even win when we want them to. All right. So talked about overreaction for myself. We have some, it is day 2 of Eagles training camp. It happened today. Day 3, they are not practicing tomorrow. On Friday, they are off until Monday. So plenty to react on, but we are going to do our overreactions for the first 2 days of camp based off of reporting that we've seen and videos that we've seen. So I've got 5 here, and we're going to react to those. And then from that point, he's going to add in some that he has, and then we're going to just talk kind of 30,000 foot view on the Phillies after post All-Star break here. So let's start with, I think what I after 2 days feel is the biggest story, because it's been one that we've talked about quite a bit here on this show. And that is, it feels as though Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni are kumbaya buds again. The reports are out of camp that Jalen was asked about this whole thing. He actually stopped the questioning in the press conference so he could like make an opening statement.
Yeah.
And talked about how he and Nick are good, and that last year, and he said throughout his career, when offenses aren't going well or the team isn't going well, that the quarterback and the head coach don't really connect as much. And he added that specifically when the head coach is in control of the offense, that tends to be the case. Look, this is all well and good. Fine, awesome. I'm psyched about it. Overreaction. Everybody's happy. I do think we could have done this like during minicamp. I think this could have been handled. I almost wonder if someone went to Jalen and was like, you got to put this to rest.
Oh, I think that's absolutely true. Whatever, if it wasn't Howie himself, it was Eagles PR or whoever, essentially speaking for Howie. I have this view on it. I think something changed in Jalen with the big contract and the Jordan sponsorship and these kind of things. I truly believe, like when we heard about like the Seattle game, AJ saying, well, Jalen and I like changed the play. You even heard Jalen talk about, well, you know, I would have loved to be, you know, been in control of the O-line shifts and things like that. But when you have Jason Kelce, you know, you let that man do it, which I don't think was a shot at Kelce at all. I think it just shows us that Jalen was feeling a certain way about himself as an NFL quarterback.
Yeah.
And I think the last however many games frustrated him because of how he was performing. And again, I think that whatever injury was, you know, hampering him, I'm sure added to that frustration. Nick was pulled in a million different directions, so I don't think he gave the proper focus to the right things. And I don't doubt that the relationship wasn't great at the end of last season. And maybe not even into the start of this one. Do I think that they've sat down and talked about it? I would imagine, or I would hope so. Do I think that Jalen has more confidence now that he knows like Kellen Moore is the guy he can go and talk to and they can be on the same page? Absolutely, I do. I just think a lot went wrong last season. But I do think that Jalen deserves half of this. Like half of this is on him. And I truly do think the expectations of that contract and being the dude who just went to the Super Bowl and MVP candidate and all those things, like from all we see, Jalen is this humble guy who's all about the work, but like everybody's human. Stuff is going to go to your head. And when you get paid like that and you get sponsorships like that, you probably think you should have more responsibility and shouldn't be treated like a third-year player. You know, maybe he sees other guys like Burrow or younger guys like CJ Stroud, like having this control over their offense. And maybe he wasn't getting that. And I think it frustrated him. So I think hopefully they had a reset. I think Jalen was absolutely talked to by no doubt, if not Howie himself, by the PR team, you know, as Howie's voice. And hopefully they're just both coming at it like, look, we both weren't at our best. Like, let's move forward, you know, working together.
Yeah, I again, sort of punny stuff here tonight with the overreactions, and truly, this kumbaya relationship that we're sensing right now could be out the window if they're losing again right away. And truly, the more likely person to be removed from the seat they currently own is Nick Sirianni. So, yes, winning cures all. This is no secret. This is all across sports.
Yeah.
Like you look at the Phillies right now, and they're a very different personality and group and caricature of what they were when they were destroying teams. And I don't think, you know, any athlete worth their weight in gold is going to react in a very negative way when they don't win, when they're not being successful. you and I both played sports, not at this level, but when we weren't winning, we were far more difficult to deal with just in the human being sense.
Mm-hmm.
So they needed a restart. They're getting a restart. I'm going to go ahead and believe that what we're hearing is true. I just wish it would have come sooner. That's all.
No, me too.
All right, let's do this. I went back and forth on offensive line stuff because it's really hard to get a sense for offensive line when you're not wearing pads. So I did avoid that a little. But I am going to overreact to something that Vic Fangio said about one of his defensive line. We can say all we want to Jet fans about Hassan Reddick. We can point and laugh all day long about Hassan Reddick. That dude was ridiculous for them in 2022. He wasn't good last year. That might have been the contract, which is a terrible excuse on his part.
Yeah.
That being said, when I hear Vic Fangio say that are we expecting Bryce Huff to play 3 downs? Yes. Is he ready to do it today? No. Now, to add further context, he said, do I think he will be at some point? Yes. The talent's there, the makeup's there. That context does matter. But there's a whole lot of money invested in, and we're expecting him to make up at least half of, if not 3/4 of the ground that Hassan Reddick made.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Bryce Huff's not going to go out and have 17 sacks like Hassan did in 2022.
Right.
And if he does, then we're going to be in the same situation that we were in with Hassan about a new contract.
Right.
Like so I don't even want him to get to that point. What I would like is 10 to 12 sacks and then let other guys make up the rest of those numbers. So I'm overreacting a little bit here because I don't like hearing at any point that the dude we're paying all this money to might not be ready to play 3 downs yet, which is the bet we were taking on him at the start. Again, maybe I'm overreacting, but that's just, and I know it's 2 days, but that's the purpose of the exercise. I'm struggling a little bit with knowing that we shelled out this cash, and I'm hearing this from the defensive coordinator, who I know is direct and to the point, and I appreciate that, but that's already concerning me. So Vic, stop.
I mean, I'm with you on this, that it's not great, but I think they were talking about this on PHLY podcast, that they were speculating that this is maybe what Vic has seen from film with how he was used on the Jets, and not maybe necessarily reflective of his actual ability to do so, because it's very hard to tell that in 2 days of training camp.
I don't buy it.
But it's still not great.
Yeah.
Look, I think we all knew that this Bryce Huff thing was a potential. Like, they're paying for who they think he can be and to get younger at that position. They weren't paying for Hassan Reddick production. Like, they just weren't. They were paying to get younger and what they think will be a guy who can maybe reach close to that. I want to give the guy the benefit of the doubt, but not a great start.
Not what we wanted to hear.
Not a great start.
No, not what we wanted to hear. And please know, we know these are overreactions, but from a general sense of like, this is what we do as sports fans.
Yeah.
You know, we hear these things, they're put out there by the media, and we do.
The funny thing is, this isn't even put up in the media. His defensive coordinator said it.
Yeah,
like we're not speculating here based on some anecdotes from training day from some reporters.
No.
Like
2 days in,
the defensive coordinator actually said this.
Yeah, and maybe that's a challenge. Maybe it's a challenge. I don't know. All right, number 3. Regz, we're gonna see the running backs as wide receivers this year, and I could not be more excited. When I heard that Jalen was making throws to Saquon in the rhythm of the offense, when I heard those words come out of Bo Wolf's mouth, I was driving and I almost swerved off the road. Not once last year in preseason, during the season, did we see it or did we hear about it? They also talked about, and this is not as much of, not on the same level or even in the same context, but that Jalen was pretty open about not feeling comfortable throwing to certain guys last year. He named that.
Yeah.
Also important, he was more intentional about throwing to guys this year, like Paris Campbell. He's been working with Saquon a lot, and so that matters. But I heard that he was throwing to Saquon in rhythm, and I read that he was throwing to Kenny Gainwell quite a bit, because Kenny's getting a lot of first team reps, which it feels like they're going to try and save Saquon's legs a little bit in using Kenny in certain spots. And I do listen, if we're planning on being a deep playoff team, then I want Saquon as the bell cow in January, February. Not as much in September, October, November, December. Like, I need Saquon ready when we're playing teams like the Niners, when we're playing teams like the Packers or the Lions, maybe the Chiefs. That's when I need Saquon fresh. So more than anything else, the reaction here is Kellen Moore's offense. We already knew it was going to have motion. They've talked about that. Like Devontae's talked about that. Jalen has talked about it. AJ has talked about it. We've talked about it. What we've waited for was whether or not the running backs were going to catch balls. Now, it is important to note that last year at this time, DeAndre Swift was catching balls in training camp. Will it carry over? I think my only hope and my reaction being what it is we got a new offensive coordinator who's got a chokehold on the offense.
Yeah.
It's hit. So I am putting my chips in on this, and I'm taking this reaction and making it something that is more of a belief than a prayer. So yeah, running backs as wide receivers, Regz. Who would have thunk it?
Who would have thunk it? I just want to see it. Like, so often Jalen would stare at open guys and not throw them the ball last year.
Yeah.
Like, he's just got to be willing to throw it to anybody if they're open.
Yeah.
And so hopefully this is part of it. I'm with it, though.
Yeah. Okay. Number 4. Speaking of Jalen, he's coming, Regz. He's coming. MVP, Jalen Hurts. Listen,
great overreaction.
This is couldn't be more of a Philly overreaction.
This is the epitome. Yep.
This is everything. When I hear about the accuracy, the decisiveness, the attitude on the field, the interaction with the media, like it feels like we've got focused Jalen and healthy Jalen, the legs. Dude, apparently they ran the option with he and Saquon. They also ran a fake pitch, and from what I understand, the entire defense moved with Saquon. And they were like, Jalen would have gone for 80.
Yeah.
Like, that's how open the field was. We are putting balls on people. Like, deep balls accurately, over the middle accurately, in the flat accurately, to everybody, to all his targets, not just 2 guys, but everyone. If that's the Jalen that we are poised to get this year, buckle in, buddy, because I'm going to be unbelievably obnoxious. All I heard last year was that this is the real Jalen Hurts. No, that was the injured Jalen Hurts. He's coming, Regz.
I mean, look, nothing would make me happier.
Well, then get ready to be really happy.
I can't wait.
All right, my last one, then you can give me any that you have. Cooper DeJean, bad rapper, ruined Eminem. Did you see this video?
No.
So they did the
I'm
rookie
not sure
songs.
I want to.
They did the rookie songs. I almost called him a bad vibes guy, but I think that's unfair. He's just a bad rapper. He attempted lose yourself. Now, think back to all the times we've seen videos of rookies during this exercise that like Nick Sirianni loves to do. It's an Eagles tradition, but Nick Sirianni is like all about, he's like front row and like
he loves it.
He did lose yourself. Couldn't have been more offbeat. Brandon Graham was recording it. The whole auditorium was booing him. and they threw stuff at him. He literally walked off.
That's hilarious.
And BG was like, no, you got to finish. You got to finish. And like, bad rapper. Let's hope he's a better defensive back.
Is he on Twitter? Can we send him your Mr. E-Town video?
You want to see performance?
Show him how it's done.
Show him how it's done. I could also just rap.
You can do it right now. I was about to say we could make this a video that we send to him.
Know every word to lose yourself. So it was awful. I'm glad that they stopped him because it was brutal. I'll have to retweet it on the.
That's hilarious.
It was so bad.
I sung that song hurt so many times because it was our basketball intro at home. A buddy of mine who played with us on the team was like a big music guy, and he remixed it to have like the name of our team in it and all this stuff, and it was sick. Like we ran out on the drop of like the boom. Like that's when we would run out from the side of the bleachers and start our warm-ups and stuff. Just dude, who raps awesome. That song terribly?
Oh, you'll see.
That's wild.
You'll see. Listen, it was bad.
He's a kid from Iowa. Is he from Iowa? He just went to Iowa.
I actually don't know. I'll look that up. Do you have any overreactions you want to share?
Yeah. I just had one and I lost it, but
I got one more for you.
Here's my overreaction.
Go for it.
Jalen Carter will get Defensive Player of the Year votes.
Oh baby. Don't even tease me like that. He's from South Dakota, Sioux Falls.
Well, close enough.
Close enough. might even be like
just the whitest of the white places to be.
Yeah. Yeah, Regz. I love that. I think what we see is and here is they're building the defense around him.
I think that's what I wanted to bring up is that by all accounts, like the front of this defense is his.
Yeah.
And if his buddy can just eat bodies and let this man go to work, like you're hearing all the right things. I think that's why I'm overreacting. I'm not sure. The expectations for a second-year defensive tackle are not crazy. Like only some of the best of all time have had crazy numbers. But I wasn't sure how Carter would handle being a professional. I think we all had that concern.
Yeah. I think the story coming out of Georgia was a big part of that.
Yeah. Like when your own coaches are bashing you.
Yeah.
And that's why you kind of drop down the draft list. It's not great. Like, thank God for a guy like Fletcher Cox, who was there for this kid his rookie year, to show him how to be a professional. Because I think without that, I think a lot of this goes to his head.
Yes.
And I don't think this is going to the ego side of his head as much as he's understanding that, like, I have to, like, this is a huge responsibility and I have to work my ass off to earn it and show people that I deserve it.
Yep.
And that gets me pumped.
Oh yeah.
For how good this kid could be.
I agree. I think all that we read, all that we see, apparently there was a play and they couldn't remember who was trying to block him, but he just basically took him and tossed him.
Yeah.
And really it just comes down to his ability to play the whole year. And right. That I believe was just a product of being a rookie. That rookie fatigue just kicks in.
Oh, absolutely.
And I do believe he's going to make the other guys around him just that much better because you can't double team everyone. You can't double team him and Jordan. You can't double team He and Bryce Huff on third and longs, or Josh Sweat for that matter. If you choose to do NASCAR, Brandon Graham's going to be. So, yeah, I can see him absolutely taking votes of Defensive Player of the Year. We had him taking votes for Defensive Rookie of the Year, and if he didn't fall off so much at the end, he might have won the damn thing.
Yeah, and like I said, I think it was just learning how to be a pro and what it takes to survive a season like this and play the snaps that he's going to need to play.
Yep. Just a couple last notes, unless you have any other that
go for it.
Okay. Couple of last notes, not overreactions, just things that I think people should know. Zach Bond is getting a whole lot of first team linebacker opportunities. Fine. It sounds like they're mixing all of them together to find the right two.
Yeah.
Sounds like White is for sure going to be one.
Yep.
And they're mixing and matching like Nakobe and Van Sumeren, and Trotter got some reps. So we'll just keep an eye there. Linebacker, I don't think anybody really cares about, if I'm being entirely honest.
Just don't be absolutely awful.
That's it. Don't don't be absolutely awful. Cooper DeJean is hurt. So right now they're, Avante's still getting nickel first team reps. But the first team outside is Darius and Keeley. So that looks like for now what they're going with, and really trying to move the rookie around right now. He's playing outside a little bit, but they're also trying him inside. Like they're definitely looking for ways to get Quignon on the field. They're not, but they don't look like they're pushing him. They're pretty set on, I think, using Keeley and Darius, knowing that at some point Quignon's going to have to play just on need.
Yeah. I think it was interesting. I heard someone say that they're playing him a lot behind Darius, almost as a way for him to watch and just look, we all know Darius is 33. Anything could happen. He has a weird injury history. They need Quignon to be ready to step up.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, and Darius is even mentioned, I'm 33, and I think he knows this is last year here in Philly. So I appreciate him taking on the mentor role. He hasn't complained or
not at all
acted any type of way. So kudos to him.
Yep.
His former counterpart, James Bradbury, looks like the Eagles might just be treating him as a sunken cost. He's playing second team safety right now.
Yeah.
From everything Fangio said, he's taken to the position well. I mean, we've always known him to be smart. He's not the best tackler.
Yeah.
But if you got ball hawk instincts, it could work out. And as second team, it's fine. But they might be treating him as a sunken cost, and they're just going to pay him. He's going to be on the roster as a, he might still get some corner if they're desperately in need, or moving him into the box to cover guys. Wouldn't be the end of the world to have that sort of a skill guy on a fourth receiver.
Yeah. Well,
not the end of the world.
If he still has the skill.
You could have worse fourth or fifth safeties.
That's a fair point.
That's what I mean. I know they're paying him a lot.
That's a fair point.
He's technically, when everybody's healthier.
Yeah.
Because Avante's moving to safety before.
Yeah.
So, all right, Phillies.
I guess. God almighty.
Yeah.
We were trying to have a nice weekend in Pittsburgh.
Rough trip.
Here's where I'm at. I'm trying to articulate it as best I can.
I'll do it. They sucked this week.
Yes, they did. I think my biggest focus, though, is that this is the first time we've seen this team with no fight. And I don't know if I did text you this or I was about to and I deleted it, but it was the first time we went into these games and we'd have a lead or get down, or not have a lead and they'd score a few. And I was like, I'm not sure we're going to win. in the entire first half, I'm like, this team would come back. We might not win, but we're going to fight. And for quite a bit of these games, it just looked like we had no fight in us. Like going up there, swinging at every first pitch, not like trying to fight back in an at bat, just looking like it's already over. The attitude concerns me.
We sort of did text about this because I pushed back on there, and I'm gonna do it here too. I don't know that they didn't have the fight. I think that they had way too much of it, and the fight turned into anger. And angry at bats in baseball are not ever going to be positive outcomes. I'd said to you a couple of times, like, they just look like they're trying to hit an 8-run home run.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they're trying to fight back into games. One swing. The way they fought back into games the whole first half
just
was
stringing them together.
Professional at bat after professional at bat, putting pressure on the pitcher, having base runners. When they got down recently, they weren't getting base runners, or they had gotten base runners early and didn't cash in.
Yeah. And then it was just like,
when they did get a base runner, the at bat was ugly because they were just thinking, how do I get this guy in? Like all of them, maybe with the exception of Nick Castellanos and Alec Boehm. Like, I do still feel like those two guys were putting pretty decent at bats together in Pittsburgh and Minnesota. But Bryce since the All-Star break hitting like 180.
Yeah.
And I was really disappointed last night.
Someone tweeted this. I'm going to find it.
I was really disappointed last night that his interview was like, just look, we all know the umpires suck, but I'm not blaming the umpires for definitely 2 of those 4 losses.
Oh yeah.
Like, your bullpen cannot blow 2 multi-run leads in 6 days. Can't.
Yeah. Here you go.
Did you find it?
Yeah. Phillies Tailgate tweeted this. Phillies /line since the All-Star break. Schwarber, 087, 185, 087. Turner, 240, 296, 480. Harper, 185, 185, 440. Boehm, 318, 423, 409. Real Muto, 222, 417, 222. Marsh, zeros across the board.
Mm-hmm.
Casty, 391, 417, 739. Stott, 143, 143, 143. I'm not even sure how that's possible. Rojas, 222, 300, 222. Like, that's your, that's the Schwarber thing baffles me. The Harper, like, I don't know what Harper's doing.
It's funny because Harper's OBP or his slugging is still pretty high. But the stats, they mirror exactly what I just said. Everybody's sucking for Boehm and Casty. Yeah. Casty's slugging is like 720 right now.
Yeah.
So and Trey's slugging is higher because he's still hitting home runs. He's striking out a lot right now.
Yeah.
Trey. Look, they're playing bad baseball right now, and that's not a secret. One of the I may have said it to you. I know I said it in another text chain. The Phillies won baseball games for the whole entire first half, not because of their schedule, but because they played really complimentary baseball, like really good starting pitching, really good bullpen, really good offense. That happened pretty much consistently every night. Every once in a while, one of those things would falter, but the other 2 would pick it up. Recently, they're not getting all 3 or even 2 of those 3. If they get 1 in a night, they're lucky. And this goes back to the A's before the All-Star break. They had 1 good starting pitching performance, and it was Phillips. Against the Pirates, they had 1.5. Sanchez was fine.
Mm-hmm.
Nola was not.
Yeah.
And Phillips was great.
Yeah. I mean, Sanchez was 2 runs over 6 innings? Like,
yeah, but it was like, it was too many pitches. Not
efficient, but like not the worst thing ever.
Oh, he was fine. Like I said, he was fine.
Yeah.
Nola wasn't though.
No.
Nola was bad. And I actually got in an argument with a Pirate fan in front of me during the game who was just so appalled that I was complaining that Aaron Nola couldn't hold a lead when he has 11 wins and a 3.5 ERA. And I was like, dude, you just picked like the two dumbest pitcher stats to argue my point. Like I watch this dude every fifth day. If he's in a tie game or has a 1-run lead or a deficit, he's freaking Cy Young.
Yeah.
If he has a 3-run lead or more,
Yeah. Just
you might as well just put up a tie game.
Right. And then just move on to the next inning.
Because that's who Aaron Nola is. It's like, and then he's like, well, he'd be our second best pitcher. I was like, do you watch your team? Because Keller is really good. Jones is really good. And he's not even close to Paul Skeens. Like, do you not watch your team? Jamokes.
Oh my
Jamoke
God.
fan base.
We had the Fozzie Bear twins behind us. Pirates fans. Good Lord. My wife was so pissed at these women. They literally sounded like Fozzie Bear.
It's so funny.
They were obnoxious. They were obnoxious.
Regz and I did see each other. We met at a bar for a little bit and hung out with my brother-in-law, and 2 of Regz' 3 young gentlemen hung out. But yeah, frustrating weekend overall. Minnesota also frustrating. Similarly to the Friday night Pittsburgh game, the bookend games for the road trip were just annoying. The Phillies should have been 4-2.
I mean, like I said, that's what changes the whole thing.
Yeah. It's frustrating that Orion Kirkring is really a villain in both games.
Yeah.
He made 1 7-4 lead 7-6 and then made a 4-2 lead 4-4.
Mm-hmm.
And I know people kind of came at Strahm, but I'd also, Marsh should make that catch. I do think he jammed his shoulder earlier. I think he was a little worried about going to the wall, because typically Brandon Marsh is not worried about offense. Like,
I know, it's just like it's just so annoying that stuff like compounds. You know what I mean? It's just I get it.
It's a snowball now, man. It's a snowball going down the hill.
There's really nothing going great outside of, like you said, Bohm, Castellanos, and the fact that Wheeler looks like Wheeler again.
Well, and Jeff Hoffman.
Of course.
Well,
I even think Strahm is fine. I don't blame Strahm for that inning. Like,
no, because he dominated in the ninth of game 2.
And again, Strahm's not typically a guy who comes in bases loaded.
Yeah,
like that. But it was such an early inning that you're not putting Hoff in there.
Mm-hmm.
And he's still
in the playoffs, you might.
He's still got a ground ball and a fly out that should be caught.
Yeah. The other person that I think we need to celebrate is Phillips.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's been fantastic.
Continues just to be a dog.
Yeah, the dude fights. So let's just quickly touch on the bullpen here. We've talked about Strahm, we've talked about Hoffman, talked about Kirkring.
Yeah.
Kirkring needs to get it together. Alvarado, I don't think I'm super worried. I think I'm anxious to see what it looks like now with JT back. He looked better the last game in Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
he gave up the hit, but then
better.
he struck out too. Yeah, it was better. I need a little bit more time with JT, see if that makes a difference. Ranger looked better in his outing in Minnesota. Looked better. 3 runs is fine, and I don't think they really hit him that hard. It just, couple things here and there. I thought he was fine.
Mm-hmm.
So that made the body language was good. The location was good. His
location looked much better.
Yes. So I did feel good about that. Gregory Soto's he's not deserving of high leverage innings, period.
I mean, listen, if you're gonna, with how he was pitching, if you're gonna give him a chance, fine. But like, it's over now.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have it, man.
Yeah.
You wanted to be the cool guy who thought you had it. You don't have it.
Yeah. And I do believe, because of that performance, because of Kerkering struggling, and because Marte has come back for getting out of throw strikes, it's likely that the Phillies add 2 arms here at the deadline. I do believe
Yeah, I mean,
2 bullpen arms is a very likely scenario. Now, the Marlins just traded
I was gonna say AJ Puck, right?
Yeah, to Arizona. Arizona's like one of 6 teams that are like, well, there's like 8 teams that are all within like 5 games. Like 5 games, 8 teams. A lot can happen in the next few months. So the Diamondbacks add Puck, a weapon to the back end of their bullpen. So obviously the Marlins are for sale.
Mm-hmm.
So the Phillies are probably looking at a scenario where currently the arms they trust in their pen are Matt Strahm, Jeff Hoffman, Jose Alvarado. 3 arms. Comfortably, you'd like to have 4 or 5 going into the postseason.
Yes.
On the cusp right now, Sir Anthony Dominguez.
Yeah.
Like he's had really dominant outings. He's also had a couple that just haven't been great.
It's just so weird. It's so weird.
Kerkering was in that tier of arms.
Not anymore.
But now he's
For
below
some
Sir
reason,
Anthony.
he's lost the fastball confidence.
Yeah, I don't know why.
I don't know why either.
So they, definitely 1, if not 2 arms that they can add, and hopefully you can get Sir Anthony back up, or you can get, but you have 2 lefties. It'd be nice to have a third.
Absolutely.
And it'd be nice to have the guy that you're just going to use in the 9th, so you can deploy Jeff Hoffman wherever the heck you want.
Yeah.
Like come the postseason, if you're going to pull Ranger Suarez after 5 and the top of the order sitting in the 6th, you have a 1 or 2 run lead and you want to use Hoff in that inning, use him in that inning, because if you have Kyle Finnegan from the Nationals, sitting there to pitch the 9th, awesome.
Yeah.
Then Jeff Hoffman can pitch against the top of the order, and then you use Alvarado 4, 5, 6, or whatever you want to do.
Yeah. I think you just want, as of right now, you want Sir Anthony, Orion, and Soto to be your last 3, your 6th inning, early 7th. You know what I mean? Guys.
I'd argue mop up.
I mean, even that. I'm with you.
Basically what you use Ruiz for.
Exactly right. And you want to have, like you said, Strahm, Hoff, Alvarado, and at least 1 more at minimum.
Which I'm guaranteeing you that's
you're
happening.
Absolutely right. I'm completely with you there.
Like there's anybody you listen to, from the ones that I don't listen to,
right,
to Jeff Passan,
right,
Jim Salisbury and Matt Gelb have said it's likely 2 guys.
Mm-hmm.
Like Dombrowski's dead serious. Now Mason Miller's off the table because he's hurt.
Yep.
So
that's fine. I didn't want to give up all the things for Mason Miller.
Yeah, I got the allure, but I also am like, oh my gosh, I can't with Painter and Miller and Kaba. And Starlin Kaba has had like 3 at bats. He's got a hit in both, and he's stolen like 4.
Yeah.
So if we could just keep that kind of electricity, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
So yes, in the upcoming days, I anticipate 2 bullpen moves. Right? The bat is coming too. However, I believe it's a complimentary bat. I think that they're going to go thinner on the bat, knowing that this offense is going to hit, especially home games at Citizens Bank Park in October, especially after last year. The offense is going to hit.
Yeah. I think even after this road trip, home always seems to like reset them.
Yeah. And they're playing now. The 2 teams they're playing are both having good seasons, but they're both struggling right now.
Mm-hmm.
Big time. Like the Guardians have lost, they're 10-14 in their last 24. And we know what's happening. Yankees, right? So it is a get right opportunity for the Phillies at home. And I'd really love for them to sweep this weekend. It would just, I don't typically get selfish. I'm usually like take 2 out of 3 and I feel good.
Mm-hmm.
I would just love for them to come out and be like, all right, that's behind us. We are back to being who we are.
Yeah.
And just put a licking on this team. The pitching matchups are not good
Yeah.
for the Guardians. So maybe we get a little bit of that. Just 3 names that I want to mention. Then I'm going to give you your moment with the trade deadline. Also want to just mention, and you can touch on this before your deadline thing. I am getting a little worried about how well
what?
the Mets are playing.
Yeah.
I'm a little concerned that
the Braves gifted it to him tonight.
I get it, but they're winning baseball games a lot.
They are.
A lot. And we're not right now.
Yeah.
Like, we still have a 10-game lead on them, which is very sizable.
Mm-hmm. But
crazier things have happened.
Mm-hmm.
And we still play them a handful of times.
Yep.
So I'm a little worried. Okay. 3 names. One that you love. I'm going to start there. Lane Thomas. I do believe there's a very large possibility that some package of Finnegan Thomas could come back to Philly. It's not at great cost.
Right.
It's not. Those 2 guys coming to you, it's not the sexiest thing. It's sensible. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Finnegan throws really hard. He pitches every day. He takes the ball all the time. Thomas hits lefties really well, lengthens the lineup. He can run decent in the outfield.
And I also think you're putting him in Citizens Bank Park left field, not Nationals Park right field.
Right. So I think he would energize the team quite a bit. That's 1. 2 is not as sexy. Mark Hanna, former Met, killed us.
Yeah.
In Detroit, but in like 70 at-bats against lefties this year, he's hitting close to 300 with like an OPS close to 1,000.
Yeah.
I think it's like around 850. So, I mean, it's not sexy. Again, he's 35.
Yeah.
He's gone after this year. So he costs you probably like one of your low-end ranked prospects organizationally. Like, and Marion Boyd is the name that Brian sent me earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So would I hate it? I wouldn't love it, but I think what it would mean is they're really going in on a reliever, or maybe 2 big time relievers, if that's the name they bring back in terms of a bat.
Absolutely.
3rd name, and I think probably the sexiest of the names, Randy Arozarena. Randy Arozarena, to me, from the Rays, for those that don't know, playoff god. Like, the energy that dude would bring to Citizens Bank Park. Well, and the energy, like just the swag, he would fit in this clubhouse so perfectly. Now they have a couple of bullpen arms that could also be of interest. Defensively, not great. He's not great. He's probably the worst name on here defensively. Like, he is not great out there. However, Marsh is still a plus defensive center fielder. He's not Rojas plus, but he's plus.
Yeah.
And if Randy comes here, he's coming here to play left field.
Yes.
Marsh and Rojas become the platoon, and late in game, they remove Randy. Marsh plays left.
Yep.
Rojas moves to center. So I think those are 3 names to kind of keep your eye on as the trade deadline gets closer. Regz, your final thoughts on the deadline before you go on vacation.
I get the allure of the big names. I really do. The Arozarenas, even the Roberts.
Yeah, I kind of gave up on that.
I get it. I think you need to, like, pitching wins you championships. I think you get the package of Thomas and Finnegan, and that still allows you to go get a Tanner Scott from Miami or another lefty reliever from somewhere.
I'm sure there's one we don't even know about that they're looking at.
Yes. So I think that's what I want them to do. I think Thomas would be fantastic. I've loved him for 2 years. I want him on my baseball team. I think when we've played the Nationals, Finnegan is one of the only pitchers that scares you with his combination of like power and that. I think he throws a slider, right?
Yeah.
Which is disgusting. Again, I'm not worried about the Thomas defense. We went to a world championship with Kyle Schwarber in left field. Not worried about it. I think he'd be fine in left field. I honestly do. And he's got a plus arm. Like, I know he might not catch everything, but he's got an arm. I think the pitching has become more important.
No,
I know the offense is like down right now. I get it. The pitching has become more important. You need 4 to 5 guys who you have absolute confidence in at the back end. You just need to. We saw what happened in the Arizona series when you don't have that.
So, just pulling up. I'm pulling up his repertoire here. So he has pulling up his pitch mix. Okay. 4-seamer, split finger. He throws 26% of the time. The slider, he throws 6% of the time.
Yeah, the split's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah. Yeah. The 4-seamer, he throws 70% of the time. So, yeah. So yes, I think that's probably the move. It's the most sensible move. It's not exciting, but I think it's the most sensible. All right. Anything else, my friend?
I think I'm with you. Like, I know people are like, well, this is a win now team. You have to make the big move that solidifies something. Pitching is more important right now. You just need someone who can platoon with Marsh.
Yeah.
Or even, I don't give a crap. Move Marsh to left field if you want to. I don't care.
Right.
Or to center field, I mean. I don't care. And leave Lane Thomas in left. Like, I just don't care. Like, Rojas is a 0 on offense anyway. You might as well let Marsh hit against more lefties. Who cares?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, Finnegan's numbers this year. I don't care about win loss, but I'm gonna say it anyway. 2-4 for a reliever. That's dumb. Because look at the other numbers. In 42 innings, 44 strikeouts. His whip is a .98.
Yeah.
His ERA is a 2.32. Like,
and guys, he's playing on the Nationals. Do you not think those guys would be pumped to be on the Phillies?
Yeah.
Like, you can't discount like what's going on.
No. It's that he feels like the right reliever. It's just a matter of whether or not a deal makes sense. That's all it comes down to. Whether or not a deal makes sense for them.
I just don't think it would cost that much.
Yeah,
I don't think you have to
know
put
the right.
I don't think you would have to put Painter and obviously or Miller in a deal like that.
No, not in that. No. 0% that happens. Just to give you an idea. Teams are hitting 192 ball, 174 against a split, 125 against a slider. Let me see if I can get.
Is that any good?
Yeah, right. Let me see if I can get swing and miss on here. Yeah, here you go. So, all right. Swing percentage. Out of zone swing percentage against his split. 46%. Good Lord. Contact percentage. Wow. Yeah. Trade for him. Swinging strike percentage, 17% on his split.
I mean, you just see it when we play him. That guy's terrifying when he comes in the game.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. All right. Let's we are almost done with the month of July. The Phillies will play 3 games against the Guardians this weekend, have a day off, play 2 games against the Yankees. I'm sorry, they don't have a day off. 3 games against the Guardians, 3 games against the Yankees, end of July.
Mm-hmm.
6 games left. Here is where we're at in the game. Okay? So you and I might have to communicate here while you're away. just to decide what's happening.
Okay.
Okay. Batting average. Regz 235, Azzy 278.
Yeah, I'm going to get crushed.
On base percentage, Regz 345, Azzy 338, 1-1. Runs, Regz 20, Azzy 36,
Jeez.
2-1. RBI, Regz 16, Azzy 44.
Holy moly.
Trey Turner had like 20 by
Yeah.
himself. This one also Trey Turner. Regz, home runs 4, Azzy 15.
Yeah.
Trey had 12. Strikeouts, Regz 46, Azzy 54. Trey had like 18.
I was about to
Led
say,
all of our guys in strikeouts.
Schwarber is trying to get there.
4-2 me. Stolen bases, Regz 5, Azzy 7, 5-2 me. Pitching is where you won it last time. Innings pitched, Regz 47, Azzy 53 and a third. ERA, Regz 4.98, Azzy 4.07. WHIP, Regz 147, Azzy 122. Wins, Regz 2, Azzy 3. Saves, Regz 1, Azzy 3. Strikeouts, Regz 49, Azzy 67. Current score with 6 games to go, Azzy 11, Regz 2.
I have been betrayed by my team. Absolutely betrayed.
So if I do win this month, which looks promising as of the moment. Promising as of the moment. We'll each get one more start from each of our starters.
Yeah, good Jesus.
And from there, we'll see. We'll be 2-2 going into a very important month of August. And we do have to have a conversation because right now you have a guy who doesn't play every day. I have a guy who doesn't play every day. If you win, you're going to have 4 guys who play every day because you'll take JT, I'm assuming.
Wait, who do I have?
You have Edmundo.
Oh, right.
And I have Brandon.
Yeah.
So we'll have to have a conversation about what that looks like because I think there's disadvantages on both sides when it comes to this game. Having more at bats can be a good thing because you get more opportunity. It could also be a bad thing because the higher your number gets, the higher your number gets.
Kyle Schwarber and Bryson Stott for me right now.
Yeah. Right now, I think we're separated by like 15 to 20. It's not like a huge difference.
Who has Casty?
Me.
Damn it.
But you have Bomer.
I know. I picked Stott thinking he was going to do better, and I just have been absolutely ass wiped with that. Good Lord.
Yeah. So we'll decide what we want to do with that. The pitching's at a good number. I like where that's at. So, but yeah, 6 games to go, 11-2.
Good Lord, I've been failed. They have failed me, my team.
There are a couple places you can get me still. Runs, RBIs, home runs, going to be really tough.
Kyle's absolutely killed me.
Stolen bases possible. Saves well, maybe not. You don't really have a closer on your side. Right now I have 2. Strom and Hoffman are
Yeah.
You can get me in wins still. Whip and ERA can turn real fast. Like if Sanchez goes out tomorrow against the Guardian
Yeah.
and just wipes them for what we know he can do 7-8 innings run, he can go like shutout for 8 innings.
Yeah.
And you're right back in that.
Yeah.
Right back in it. So we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see.
I don't feel good at the moment. Don't feel great. Don't
No,
feel
right
great.
So everyone, I don't really have a fixated. I want to ask Cooper DeJean to be more,
Just be better.
mindful. Just be mindful.
You're kind of representing us white guys.
Yeah, don't go up there doing
Like, come
that
on.
nonsense.
And of all people, Eminem. I get it if you can't like rap Kendrick that well. I feel like people would get it. But you're gonna mess up Eminem. Of all people, come on now.
Yeah, it's all we got in the rap game. Come on, man.
Come on, man.
Come on, man. All right, hey, Regz, have a great vacation, bud.
Thank you, buddy.
I hope you have fun with the fam. We'll hold it down here on Phixated.
I know you
for
will.
And if something big happens when we record with Big Joe, call on in.
Yeah. If I see
react.
something on Twitter, I'll send an email, a text. Somehow I will get in contact.
All right, I love it. Okay. In the meantime, if you are watching on YouTube, click subscribe on the button below us. Follow us on all social media platforms. Go to wherever you get your podcast. Rate, subscribe, do all the stuff. Social media, at the Phixated Pod on Twitter, at the Mic Drop 5 on Twitter, at Big Regz with a Z on Twitter, Phixated fan page on Facebook, merchandise link in the show description below. We love you guys. We appreciate you. Be good to yourselves. Be good to others. And please, God, Phillies.
Come on, Phillies.
I need 5 out of 6 this week. 5 out of 6. Nothing less.
Yeah. Just
We love
help
you.
us.
Oh my God! Deep to right field, way up there and way out of here.
The Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions. Eagles fans everywhere, this is for you.
The 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss, struck him out. The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball.